Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. As promised, I'm going to go ahead and create a junk journal real time on video. I've only done one of these and it was by far not perfect. In fact, it was so imperfect that this is the one I showed in a previous video. I had only originally put one signature in, and I did go back and add more signatures, two more signatures, but my spine, the lineup of my spine stitching was really off. And so I took some sari silk and I covered that up. So again, my very first time, I don't think it was too bad for being my first time. This one I did cover entirely in paper. The one I'm going to do today is fabric. And just before we get started, I did go ahead and applied some heat and bond to my the back of my fabric so that it would be able to, if I decide to put any wet medium, like if I wanted to do any stenciling or anything, it's not going to seep through onto the book as well. It just creates a barrier between the book cover and what's on top of the material, if that makes any sense, including the glue. So it will help in the gluing process too. So I have some supplies out that I'll be using. I'll be using Fabri-Tac from Beacon. I've got my craft knife. I created a template for my spine and where my signatures are going to go. You can see it's a little bit crooked. Going this way doesn't matter as much as, the spaces in between aren't as important as where they are in line here, because I'm going to use this template when I also sew the signatures in. So this is probably going to be a two-part video because it is going to be a fairly lengthy process. And again, I'm new, so I'm probably going to fumble along the way. But I did tell you that I'd bring you along for the adventure. So I have some wax thread here that I'll be using to do my stitching, my needles. I got this great kit off of Amazon, and I'll be sure to link it in the supply list. It was really affordable, and it came with a bone folder, it came with a little measuring ruler, it came with a pencil, some kind of brush. I'm not sure what you use that for. I think 4 different kinds of wax thread, the needles. Just seemed like there was a whole bunch of little things in there that I would never have even thought of to do junk journaling or create, sew in a signature. So this is the book that I'll be using. Again, as I mentioned before, it is an old Good Housekeeping cookbook, and I will be utilizing all of these old book pages. I believe that this one, if I recall correctly, was the first copyright was 1942. So it's not terribly old. I mean, I guess that's all relative depending on how old you are. But it's not as old as some books that people tend to use, but I'm going to be actually cutting the text block out of this book, and I'm going to let you watch me do that. Hopefully I won't injure myself in the process. And these are the signatures that I created. I am going to put 4 signatures in this journal. So let me just show you what I did really quick. I bought these big paper clips because they're great for holding things down. Even if you're doing like art journaling, you can put it on the corner of your page and it can hold that down. It's really handy. So this is my first signature, or one of the signatures. I have to put it down because it's not together and I don't want to mess it up. It's already lined up the way I want it. So I've got a variety of digital printables that I purchased. This is a coffee stain paper that I purchased. I'm going to be doing my own coffee staining, but boy, to get this kind of design is just incredible. So I'm new to it, so I haven't played a lot with that. I've inserted a variety of different papers that I already know I love and that represent my story and what I'm going to be creating in this journal. I had initially indicated that this was going to be a reminiscence journal, but I've actually decided to call it a soul's heartbeat journal. And the reason for that is because it is my first junk journal that I'll be using for my own personal purposes, in terms of being able to kind of tuck in parts of my story. My story is is long and difficult and traumatic and full of hard times, good times, joy, growth, struggle. As I got to know myself, as I healed, I got to know who I really was. And so that's what the junk journal is going to represent. So I did insert papers into here that represent those things. So that's just an explanation of some of the things you might be seeing. Some blues, some pinks, some purples, and that kind of thing. And some yellows, bumblebee kinds of stuff. So these are just, and then this is an old book page. I liked this old music page, the Monarch Polka, and there's a story behind that. So again, these are just, most of these are printables that I purchased. Very affordable, because once you have them, you can print them multiple times. I think it's quite affordable. My trimming isn't perfect. Like this one has a white edge, but I'll be distressing all of the edges anyway. So, and this is the yellow paper I was talking about. Just some real fun, joyful things. So we're getting to the center of this signature, and I created an envelope insert, which I have never done before, so we'll see how it goes. It's going to be sewn in like this, so the sewing will be here. Hopefully it's going to work okay, and then it has a couple of different envelopes put together that will create some places to write and to create, put tags and things in. So we'll see how that goes. I've never done it before. I've never done a lot of this before. So that's the first signature. I'm going to go ahead and wait to show you all the signatures until we get them. Maybe in the second video, part 2, when I get the, after I get the signatures all in the journal, then we can talk about what the other signatures look like. But there are 4 different ones for this book. It's a fairly thick book, so I feel like it's going to be okay. Kind of wanting to look at, how is it going to really, whoops, how is it really going to fit? And you can see here, hopefully, not very, very well, but there's there's plenty of room, I'm thinking. And then once these get in and I kind of get them bone folded and all of that, they'll get flatter and more compact. So that's what I'm going to do. Who knows, there might be changes along the way if I get going and I feel like this is just too much. Oh, I can't have 4 signatures because I only made 3 spots. So this is what I'll do, is I'll probably take one of these apart and insert it and make slightly larger signatures in the actual signatures. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess 3 is probably better, because my understanding, having not done this before, is that the journal gets really bulky really fast. And so 3 signatures is probably going to be a better choice anyway. So I told you it would be challenging. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. This beautiful, it's got a bird on it. The only bummer is when I cut it, I didn't watch to see that the birds were going this way, but I don't care. I'm not going to waste the fabric. I have already cut it. It's already ready to go. So when I put it on the book, the birds are going to be sideways, but there's nothing I can do about that. And again, I am using what I have, and so I'm not going to waste the fabric. So here you can see, I don't know if you can see that little bit of shine on this fabric. That's the heat and bond. I already prepped that and ironed that on, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to set all of this stuff aside, and I'm going to get my book out. And again, I'm not the expert on this, guys. I'm just learning as I go. So what we're going to do is go ahead and cut the text out of this spine. And so basically what you do is kind of pull these back like this. I've watched some great videos. There's one gal, her channel's called the Paper Outpost, and she's kind of different in the way that she does things. I mean, she's just very free and very unapologetic about how she does her art journaling and how she does her creative process. I've learned a lot from her. She's quite entertaining and very lighthearted, enjoyable. So I'm going to go ahead and start by getting this ready to cut open. I better open my knife before I start fussing around with that. And probably a craft utility knife would be better than this Fiskars one, but this is what I have. So again, I'm going to pull this back, and you do want to be very, very careful. A good book, or an easier book to do this with, is going to be one that has this really large gap in the spine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. Hopefully you guys can see this. I can't lay it down entirely because I risk cutting the spine. So hopefully this is going to be sufficient for you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut just inside of this down, and I'm going to kind of lean towards the cover of the book rather than leaning towards the spine, if that makes any sense. So rather than this way, I'm aiming this way. I'm having trouble here already. Like I said, this is probably not the best knife. It's just not the best. So, but we're going to just go with it, guys. See what happens. Just cutting down. And, you know, I notice that people comment on these kinds of videos where crafters are cutting apart books, but in my opinion, this book is probably, I got this at the Goodwill. Nobody's going to grab this book up. It belonged to somebody a really long time ago. It even still has like her little notes and things and recipes, which I will be holding on to all of these and using it as part of my my stuff. So she even taped in a recipe here. So nobody would have purchased this, I don't believe, and really like utilized it for something. So I don't know. That's how I justify it, I guess. But this is interesting. This is like a piece of tape. Kind of like that. I think I'm going to hold on to that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. This is coming apart really, really easily, probably just because of the age of it and its use, because I'm assuming it was used in the kitchen. So it's, oh yeah, I guess this is right. So I'm going to be very careful and make sure that I'm again leaning towards towards the cover rather than the spine here, which is ending up leaving a lot of paper on this block, but it's better than nicking the spine. So there we go. There we go. So again, this is a text block, and so we'll be definitely using this for, I'll probably scan some of this stuff just so I have, I don't know, I might not. There's quite a bit of pages in here. Wow, it's, how many pages? Almost 1,000 pages. So there's plenty to work with there. So this is our now empty book. I am noticing that this is fairly, so you can see here, I don't know if I nicked that or not, but that's a problem. So I need to pause and think about that. Yeah, it's got a hole in it, so we're going to need to fix that. So give me just a second here while I think and examine this. We got going on here? Something going on here. Yeah, let me grab the Tyvek tape just a second. I am going to use it on the inside of the book rather than the outside, because I don't want these words and stuff on the tape to show through. I bet I nicked that because I don't remember seeing that before. And this is actually quite thin. I wish I could show you, but it's paper thin, like I can bend it. Not a great spine for this purpose, so that's a bummer. I don't know if I separated it correctly, so I don't know. So I'm going to start with just putting the Tyvek on this side, and then we'll go from there. If I need to, I will do it on this side as well, and then in order to mask that writing, I might use some gesso, which will mean we'll have to pause and let that all set and dry, but we'll see how it goes. This interesting tape is coming off of the book somewhere. I bet it was that recipe. I don't know, but it's coming off of the book, which I kind of like it. So I have never used this tape. I have it on this piece of packaging because it's super sticky just on the edges. I've never used it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and get this ready. And we'll see. I mean, my concern is this is not very thick. Yeah, it's pretty light fabric, so I don't want that blue writing to show through. So I'm going to go ahead and put one. Oh goodness, we've got a label here I don't want on there. Just a second. Just get rid of that piece. No, it's no, it's stuck to my hand. Oh goodness gracious. Okay. Whew. I'm going to put a piece in the middle here first, and I am not going to put it all the way to the top because I don't want it to show. So I'm going to put it about there. I'm standing up to try to get an angle here. Just going to press that down as I go. Cut it off here. And this will really reinforce the spine is my understanding. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to reinforce it on the front though, but we'll see. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and put another piece on each side because that's where the weakness of the cover is. I didn't realize it was going to end up being this weak, so that's okay. Live and learn, right? It's all right. Yeah. I didn't trim that before I let it stick down. Sorry if this is getting off camera. I'm trying to hold it up with my leg. There we go. Trim this off a little bit. Don't want that to show. Well, we'll trim it in a minute. I'm just going to try to really push that in there. And then we're going to do one more piece here, just to ensure that we're good and strong. And then let's go a little bit lower down there, like that. Cut this before it sticks down. I'm imperfect, guys. This is interesting, an interesting process. This is going to be covered up. I guess I really don't need to worry about it too much, but let's see how that stabilized. It's still very, very weak. I don't know if you can even see that, but it's super weak. So I think we're going to have to do it on the other side as well. So let's just do it. Not what I was planning. So this time I'm going to go from the side. Like so. It's a little bit wrinkly there, but hopefully that's not going to be a problem. I'll kind of go back like that. And oh, where did my end go? Darn it. Not too easy with these nails. Get rid of that crooked edge. Okay. And then I'm going to go off to this side, and then we'll put a piece in the middle. Not too concerned about like where it lands in terms of on the book. Mainly just interested in strengthening that spine. So this is going to be a really important journal, so I want to make sure it's not going to suffer for wear. Oh goodness, Renee. Don't you hate that about tape? And let it go. Boom. I'm nail impaired. Oh goodness, novice here. Okay. Alrighty, sitting down. Let's go ahead and get that all smoothed out. And hopefully that's going to be okay. It's still very, very weak. I think I'm going to put another piece on the inside here. And then we'll test and see if that fabric is going to, if that writing is going to show through on the fabric. I'm concerned about this spine. I didn't have to pick this book. There's just a story behind the choosing of it. It was meaningful to me. Okay. This extra cut off. Again, I'm not too concerned about it. It's going to be covered. Oh my goodness, I just cut the book. Yikes. Again, this is all going to be covered up with fabric, so nothing is going to peek through. So let's just, sorry, sticking. Smooth it out here, make sure it's going to bend okay. That seems to be better. It's still not great, but it's not going to go anywhere. And it's actually going to be easier to put my signatures in because I'm not dealing with a big, bulky, thick spine to punch through. So there's a benefit to that. So I'm going to try to see how this fabric is going to work with that Tyvek tape. Oh, you know what? I don't see it. Do you see it? Because there's writing. Let's see, there's writing right here. I think that putting this heat and bond on is going to be helping. So we're going to be okay. I don't need to do anything else with that. So beautiful. No gesso needed. So let me get rid of some of this stuff. And we're going to go ahead and cover this with the fabric. And then we're going to, I'm going to end this video and then come back with part 2. I'm stuck. Wow. Okay. The battle between Cara-Renee and the tape. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this on the front, and we're going to use Fabri-Tac glue, and basically we want, yeah, I do want to start with the other side. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm going to wrap it around the edges, and then I'll use scrapbook paper in here in this area to cover the edges there. So, and I have another piece of the fabric to go here in the spine, which I probably should put on first because then it will be under whatever is overlapping. So, oh, look at that cute little bird. He's going the right direction. Imagine that. Yeah, we'll start with putting this little guy on first. So let's see. Let's get this out of the way. Try to get in frame here. When I'm doing something not familiar, I forget about that. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. I cut off this excess fabric here. I don't need that much. Got myself a new pair of sewing scissors, and they go over there. And not my grabbing scissors, the ones that I always grab for when I'm wanting to cut paper. So again, going to use Fabri-Tac. I need to go to the store and get some more of this because I don't even know if I'm going to have enough for this first part of this project. So we're going to go ahead and put some glue. Let's see where this is going to go. So I know where my glue needs to be. Actually, maybe I'll just put it on the fabric. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? So we're going to go ahead and glue this. probably going to ooze out. That's okay. We're going to get it all here in the middle too. Should probably get a brush or something to, maybe I'll just use, I probably shouldn't use my fingers because I just got my nails done. Let me grab a brush really quick. One that I don't mind sacrificing to the glue gods. How about this one? It's kind of short bristled and stiff. I'm just going to spread that glue out a little bit so I don't get any kind of glue bumps and highways under the fabric. You know how it is when you try something new and you're like all thumbs? That's how I feel today, or when I'm doing this junk journaling stuff. Paper crafting is not new to me. I've done scrapbook albums for my grandkids and stuff. They have not yet received them. They're not all done, but I have done them. I've done a lot of paper crafting over my lifetime. So let's go ahead and get this fabric on. I'm going to go ahead and get, we're not going to see the bird unfortunately, but I'm going to make him upright so he doesn't get confused. I'm going to put this on. The fabric tack does give you some time to move your stuff around. So we're going to go ahead and put that down there. And, oh, I can see the Tyvek. Ah, now that I put glue on it, I can see it. But you know what? I'm still not going to worry about it because there's going to be embellishments. It's not like what people are going to see, or what I'm going to be looking at is the cover with nothing on it. So the cover will be decorated. So I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to go with what we're doing here. So fabric is in place. Now we're going to turn this baby over and we're going to put our fabric on the front side. So just because I'm not used to doing this, I'm going to go slow and probably do half and half here. Probably a little bit too far from that edge, but we'll spread it out. Just go up this part of the spine here just to, definitely need to go get more of this though. I just got a little bottle I ordered from Amazon. Okay, spread this glue out just to again avoid those glue bumps, and making sure that, well, it doesn't really matter that it's going to the edge because it's going to wrap around. But you can see it's already trying to glop up here. So let's get this all spread out. Again, not going to matter. I'm not concerned about it. This is a junk journal, and I'm learning, and so much grace in the process. There we go. Set that down. Or we can move that glue out of my way. So, I wish my birds were not upside down though. Doggone it. I'm really bummed about that. I'm going to put it like this and try to, I'm going to stand so that I can make sure that I get it, so I'm not, you know, wasting fabric. This is kind of the idea here. Just going to drop it here and making sure that I have the same amount kind of, I just need to have enough. So, and I want to make sure that that line doesn't show. We've got plenty, so I'm just going to go with it. I'm just giving this a good press and rub. Again, just really making sure that that's pressed down all around. I'm going to get my bone folder out just to have an instrument here to kind of push on, really push on that. This is the bone folder that actually came in the stitching kit, which is pretty awesome. They use it for creasing paper and stuff. I didn't have this kind of tool when I was doing just regular scrapbooking, but so there we go. Okay. So let's see how well we're doing. It's going to be fine because it's going to wrap around. And I have plenty here and I have plenty here. So I always cut big because I'm nervous that I'm not going to have enough. Story of my life. Pull this back just a little bit because I don't know that I actually was consistent with that edge. So I'm going to go ahead and reapply my Fabri-Tac here. All the way to the top, all the way over. Hope I have enough to finish this. Fabri-Tac is awesome. It's an awesome adhesive. Okay. Brush again, which I stuck on a piece of paper. Probably not the smartest thing. It'll stick there, not move. So again, just spreading that glue out so we don't have any ridges. I wasn't planning on doing a Sunday's Art of Truth. This is Saturday, the 27th of March. I wasn't planning on doing a Sunday's Art of Truth, but I might have this one be my Sunday's Art of Truth and just write a little bit about kind of what my thinking is with this project and this journal. So we'll see how the day goes. See if I have time to do that. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and flatten that down and bring it all the way to the edge. Again, just really give it a good press. Make sure I have enough. Yeah, I've got plenty to finish putting this on. I wish I'd looked at that fabric before I cut it. It's such a bummer. The birds are sideways. But that's okay. I wonder if anybody's ever done a book, you know, where the spine is at the top and it's kind of opens like that. That would be a thought, although my signatures are not designed that way, so I probably won't be doing that. But so again, just really giving that a press. So now I think we're ready to turn it over. And I had actually cut an extra piece. I'm not sure what I was thinking that I needed that for, but I'll use it for something. So I am going to trim this down. Well, do I need to trim it down? I don't think it harms anything to have it be longer on one edge. I think not. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do kind of this corner thing here. So let's start with, I'm going to start with just this little corner, again going slow. The only problem with Fabri-Tac is that if you don't keep it upside down, you have to keep, let's go all the way down to the corner. Try to do two corners. It starts to settle back into the bottom of the bottle, which can be a problem, but we're just going to go this far. Again, going slow because I don't know what I'm doing. You can see how it's already setting. It's okay. Got some seepage over here onto the fabric, but again, now if I had not put the heat and bond on here, I would have a mess on the other side of this fabric. So I cannot find the video. I watched a video where the person doing the tutorial said, be sure to use heat and bond because it will protect your book and your fabric. So I'm glad that I saw that video. I went back to try to locate it, but I can't find it. So I'm going to fold up this corner as well, just so that I'm ready here. And then fold this up. Need a little bit more glue here because I'm folding over. People do their corners really different from what I understand. This one just seemed easiest to me. And I've got all this glue. I didn't need all this glue in here, so that was kind of not very well thought through, but that's okay. I'm just gonna use it to seal this fabric up here. There's gonna be paper here, so it's not a big concern. I'm gonna go ahead and put some here though. I've seen crafters keep this Fabri-Tac in like upside down in a cup, so that it's always draining downwards, at least while it's being used. But I don't have anything handy here, so we're going to go on. Thanks for your patience, guys. This is hard. It's hard to do something different. Really hard. I hope I have enough of this. Goodness. Let's try to not waste it here. It was very wasteful on that other side. Okay. I'm not even going to spread it out because I already know that where it needs to go, and how it worked on that corner was just fine. So I'm going to fold this corner up. That's excess fabric, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it. A little bit here. Oh goodness, this is a painful thing here. It comes on its own too, in its own timing. So let's get this up. Hope you guys can see this okay. I'm kind of in my zone here, trying to learn this. It's challenging. It's always hard to learn something new, but it's also very rewarding. That's not a very tight corner. Let's fix that. Let's adjust if we can. Got a little bit more fold there than I would have wanted, but that's okay. And there's no real glue under this edge, but my paper's going to go over it when I do the inside cover, so it's okay. I wish I had gotten more of this Fabri-Tac before I started this. Oh, you know what? I think I see some. Do I have some and I didn't know I did? I do! Check it out! No trip to the store. I didn't realize I already had some. That's what happens when you have too many supplies, guys. You forget what you have. That's the story of my life. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this side. This is actually going quite well. I am happy. I hope that you're enjoying this series and that you'll continue to watch, because it's very exciting to do something completely out of the ordinary. As you know, I do mostly mixed media. I play with watercolor, and so to do an art journal or a junk journal is quite different, but pleasing. As I mentioned in my last post, I am really enjoying the process. I'm not really liking that corner, but again, it's my first time. I know that there's a way to do it, that other people do it, but again, I'm going to probably have lace on those corners or on those edges, so not really too concerned about it. I forgot to use the bone folder. It helps to really be able to press stuff down. I didn't pick any fabrics, so I'll have to pause the camera and see if I can pick some. Forgot to put glue here. See if I can pick some fabric for the inside cover. I forgot to do that. It's a whole new world. Okay, sticking to everything. So let's do this last corner, this last edge. Moving it up, and it might just be that I've got some stiffness to this fabric now because it's got the heat and bond on it, so that might be why I'm struggling a little bit more with my corners as well. Again, it's a junk journal, which, you know, and I'll write about this. I think I will do a Sunday's Art of Truth and write about this process, because part of the beauty of this and why I'm feeling really eager about it is just this idea of being able to create in a way that doesn't feel so full of pressure to be perfect and to have a set result. This is much more freeing, I think, but we'll see how freeing I feel about it as I move along. I'm used to being able to control things, so I'm going to go ahead and just close this so you can kind of see. Oh, let's get some glue in there. We don't want that happening. Popping up. Come on, Fabri-Tac. There we go. It's just because I have a lot of extra fabric there. I'm liking the Heat and Bond. I think that was a really good choice, but I just want you to show you what it looks like. So the other thing is that different from paper, this fabric is also going to help stabilize that really thin spine. So that's a good thing. So I need more glue here too, because I can feel that was opening up. Come on, Fabri-Tac. It's the only thing I don't like about it. It settles and it's just like, come on, work with me. Okay guys, I'm going to pause the camera real quick and find some paper. I'll be right back. Okay, I found some paper and I cut it down. This is kind of, you can't really see it on camera, it's kind of a light sagey color, or mint, but I thought it was really nice with this kind of, these tones in the cover, so I went ahead and cut those down. I realized in doing this that I wasn't going to be accounting for this showing, which again, the signatures are going to go here, but I think what I'm going to do is put a piece of lace here. So, but I'll probably save that for the next video, just because this is getting pretty long. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this paper down, again using Fabri-Tac, because I am gluing paper to fabric. So I'm going to get my big Fabri-Tac out here. Hopefully it's going to play nice. There we go. Okay. I want to be very generous with this because I don't want those edges coming up. So we're just going to put a bead around the whole thing, and then we're going to go in the middle as well. And spread it out quickly. I don't know if the Fabri-Tac is actually meant to be, oh my goodness, my brush is sticking to my paper. If it's meant to be spread out or not, I really don't know. But I'm going to go especially right to the edges here, because I want that to be really, because I'm going over fabric that's been reinforced, so it's kind of thick. And again, I'm not really concerned about the bumpiness here, because the inside cover is going to be embellished. It's all going to be embellished. So what we don't like, we can cover over. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in place over here. Trying to get it as even as possible. I like the wood grain. It's always really pleasing to me. So except let me pick it up because it's not getting over my piece of fabric here. I need to make sure that it covers that edge. This is not perfect, guys, but for my first one, I feel pretty good about it. So there we go. I might go ahead, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and put the fabric on probably here too. We'll see. This is not really going to show, but I don't like it. So that should be really good. I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder to kind of spread this out. Almost an hour went by really fast. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm not going to do a voiceover because I want you to be able to hear the process as it went. So there's a real benefit to that. So we're going to do our last piece of paper here. Again. failing here? Being fussy. Okay, spread that out, especially again, let me get this off of the journal though, especially around the edges. Again, it's going to be embellished, so I'm probably making more of this than it needs to be, but I've never done it before, so. Okay, it's going to have to be good enough. Okay, and again, just being mindful of this seam here. I want to make sure that I cover up that fabric there. So I'm going to put this in here and give it a good rub. Kind of looks a little wonky right now, I realize, but that's okay. Kind of looks like I didn't know what I was doing. Imagine that. But it's okay because all this is going to be covered up. I should have distressed those edges though. I can still distress on the fabric if I want to, just to kind of make that look a little bit more vintagey. So I'm going to grab some lace here really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, quick decision. I have this beautiful, really wide lace. It was a little spendy, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. I am going to keep some extra on the edge because I might want to do something special there. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that long. And then it's covering over my fabric. It's not going to be a problem for my signatures. Shouldn't be anyway, because it's got holes in it. So it's not a solid mass of anything. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I might leave a little bit at the end too. Why not? I can always trim it off if I don't want it later. So let's leave it. Okay. And I deliberately left the scalloped side on this side because it's the front of the journal. So that's why I did that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So just keeping in mind where it's ending and beginning. There we go. My fabric tack again. Gotta go up there. Doesn't seem to be coming out very well. You have to have good hand strength for this stuff though, I can tell you that. I'm like squeezing with all of my might. It's a struggle. We're going to put some down, just a couple beads, because again, I don't want it to get in the way of when I put the signatures in, so I'm not going to go real thick with that. So let's get her in place here. About the same at the top and the bottom. This is junk journaling, guys. I mean, lace is the thing, and putting things kind of in more of a random way is really pleasing, at least to my eye when I look at junk journaling, and I've watched quite a bit of videos, and it's pretty cool how shabby people make it. Oh, that needs to come over a little bit. Goodness. The idea is to cover up that edge. I'm doing a very good job of that. It's okay. Signature's going to go in, so I'm not really going to see much of this, but probably didn't really need the lace, but I kind of got to go with it. Okay, guys, 49 minutes, way longer than I thought it would take, but I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I'll mark it as a part 1 of the junk journal, the Soul's Heartbeat junk journal. So I will be back with part 2. Thanks for watching. Bye.